and welcome back to the FPL Tom YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to be covering the best transfer targets ahead of game week 10. It feels like an absolute age since I've sat in front of the camera and made a video. The international break absolutely sucked, but football and FPL is back. We're going to cover 5 players who you should be looking to buy for the upcoming game week. If you do enjoy the content that you see on the channel, please like, comment and subscribe to the FPL Tom YouTube channel. But that's enough waffle from me. Let's dive into today's video. And starting off today's video is a man that I do own in my own team. Very happy to own him after this weekend's performance. It is Jarrod Bowen. 1 goal and 1 assist for him at the weekend against Wolverhampton Wanderers. And what a performance it was. A classic Jarrod Bowen performance, even if he did end up kind of spangling his finger into like all kinds of shapes, weird shapes and sizes. But it does look like him and West Ham are potentially back. And with the good coming fixtures coming up for West Ham, Fulham, Southampton, Liverpool, meh, Bournemouth, Manchester United, Crystal Palace and Leicester up until the World Cup, I think now is the time to jump on Jarrod Bowen. Obviously, there's a lot of midfielders that people are kind of rotating between at the moment. You've got ZAHA, you've got Bowen, you have James Maddison. I currently own Maddison and Bowen and looking to get ZAHA in my team, but I'd highly recommend Jarrod Bowen. It does look like him and West Ham are kind of getting back to where they've been over the past few seasons. It looks like he potentially could be on penalties as well. There was a penalty that he got given in the Europa Conference League. Antonio was on the pitch as well. I think Ben Rama was as well. So it does look like he potentially could be the main penalty taker this season as well. Next up in game week 10 is Fulham, and Fulham are coming off the back of an absolute thumping off Newcastle. It potentially looks as well like Mitrovic is injured for that game as well, so they're losing their key talisman, so it could be an absolute feast fest for West Ham players. Then in game week 11, they take on Southampton. Southampton haven't kept a clean sheet in 12 games now. Absolutely, they look shambolic at the back, don't they? Yeah, it's going to be a long season, I think, for the Saints so far this year. And Jarrod Bowen could have another absolute field day. Moving into game week 12 as well, Liverpool just look atrocious at the moment. They don't look like the same team that they've been for the past few years. West Ham, if they can continue the form that they've started to show, hit the next 2 fixtures really well and go into that Liverpool game with a bit of confidence. Yes, it is at Anfield, but if they can go into that game with a bit of confidence, I do think that they definitely could rock the boat there. Obviously, there is still a lot to come with Jarrod Bowen and West Ham. Only 1 goal and 1 assist, and that was against a Wolves side who are very, very poor. But the next 2 fixtures are absolutely amazing, and in game week 13, they take on Bournemouth as well. So I do think now is the time to jump on Jarrod Bowen. A very accessible price as well at 8.1 million if potentially looking to switch around some of your midfielders or maybe looking to take some funds out of your front line with Mitrovic getting injured. I definitely think Jarrod Bowen could be a very good shout. But let's move on to the next player within today's video. Moving on to the second player of today's video, it is Wilfried ZAHA, a man I am very much looking to get in my team at the moment, and it is all down to the Crystal Palace fixtures. Absolutely amazing fixtures up until the World Cup. Leeds, Leicester, Wolves, Everton, Southampton, West Ham and Nottingham Forest. Honestly, absolutely amazing. I do think that is some of the best fixtures we'll see all season. Leeds absolutely look woeful at the back. They're conceding in every single game. Leicester, we know about their troubles. Wolves, very new to the party, can't score, can't defend either at the moment, and it could be a real good run this for Crystal Palace. And Wilfried ZAHA fits that talisman theory that I've been banging on about for the past few game weeks. On penalties, all the play, all the attacking chances do come through him. Could have potentially scored in the Chelsea game as well. Had a very good snapshot inside the area that could have easily gone in if it wasn't for a good save from Kepa. So I do really like Wilfried ZAHA. Obviously, this is a warning as well. He is prone to being an FPL troll. You can expect a goal, a penalty miss, a yellow card, he takes his top off, it's a red card. That's Wilfried ZAHA in a nutshell. Obviously, over the past 5 game weeks, hasn't hit amazing heights. Only 1 goal and 12 points scored during that period. Yeah, obviously, he's not in form, and Palace haven't looked amazing either. Obviously, there's always this talk that Palace are a really good side. They haven't showed it amazingly. I don't think they were bad against Chelsea or great. I think it was just a kind of a game of two really poor teams at the moment. But I do like the fixtures coming up. I do like the fact that Wilfried Zaha fits kind of the talisman theory. That is always something that I am looking for with players within my own side. I like the price that he's at as well, 7.3%. Obviously, as you can see as well, much higher ownership than Jarrod Bowen. A lot of people have been kind of jumping onto him with their Game Week 9 wildcards, looking to take advantage of this long Crystal Palace fixture run, as you should too as well. If you aren't looking at Zaha, which player are you potentially looking at from Crystal Palace? Let me know down in the comments below. But let's move on to the third player of today's video. Sticking with the Crystal Palace kind of theme, it is another player that I am looking to potentially get within my own side. It is Marc Guehi, a player who was very impressive last year, earning himself an England call-up, and for very good reason. Been a solid Premier League defender last year and has kind of continued it into this season. We will come on to talk a little bit more about Palace's defence, but the reason that I'm going for Guehi again is just down to this amazing fixture run. If you are looking for potentially a cheap defender to bring in your side, maybe you're looking to get rid of Williams or Patterson, if you took a Game Week 8 wildcard and you potentially got a free transfer this week to kind of roll or maybe use on a player, I think Marc Guehi could be that smart addition to your side. Really good fixtures like we went with Wilfried Zaha: Leeds, Leicester, Wolves, Everton, Southampton, West Ham and Nottingham Forest. Like I said, I do genuinely believe that is one of the best fixture runs we're going to see this season. Incredible fixtures and incredibly good defensive fixtures as well. Wolves very poor. Everton, another team who are struggling to score goals, as are Southampton. West Ham haven't been as free-flowing as usual, nor have Nottingham Forest. However, my only concern with Marc Guehi and Crystal Palace defenders in general is they're currently 17th for XG conceded. Last year they were 4th for that, so I think we can kind of see this drop off. Obviously, we do have to consider the fact that they've played Chelsea, Manchester City, Liverpool. Have they played Spurs or Arsenal? I think it was Arsenal in Game Week 1, wasn't it? Yeah, Arsenal. So they played a lot of top teams, and obviously that is going to impact your XG conceded. Speaking of the last game that they played, they only conceded 1.06 XG against Chelsea, and Chelsea won down to 2 absolutely amazing goals. I really like the Aubameyang goal. Really smart finish where he just tucks and turns it, and it's absolutely wonderful. And then the Conor Gallagher goal is like, there's absolutely nothing you can do about that one. So a little bit difficult time for Palace at the moment, but good long-term fixtures coming up. Obviously, we know that they can be this amazing defence, and Marc Guehi at 4.3 million. I think if you're looking for a cheap defensive bench option, I definitely think he could be the man to go for. If you've got Patterson, maybe you put him in on your Game Week 8 wildcard. He's now picked up that injury with Scotland. I do think the smart move would be to move over to Marc Guehi. But let me know down in the comments below, have I missed any potential Palace players that you're potentially looking at? I think Gaeta is another fantastic option if you do need a goalkeeper. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below which Palace players you're potentially looking to bring in for Game Week 10. But let's move on to the fourth player within today's video. And moving on to the next player, it is James Maddison. Obviously, with this one, please just wait till Monday's game. Please wait till he's played against Nottingham Forest. Make sure that he's all fit and ready to go. He might put in another absolutely amazing performance. Had a price rise this week as well, up to 8 million now. And his ownership, I think, has gone from around 5-6% when he was included in the last video to 10.4%. Absolutely amazing. I compared him to kind of where Jarrod Bowen was at last season, where it felt like it was just a matter of time. He was at low ownership, people were just about to jump on him, and he was going to absolutely explode with amazing fixtures coming up. I think now is still the time to get on him. Obviously, if he has a good performance against Forest, I imagine his price is going to absolutely surge through the roof this week. So it might be a case, if he does have a good performance against Forest and comes through the game fit, that you bring him in early if his price is going to rise. I absolutely love James Maddison as well. He is one of my favourite players. I love the way that he's kind of speaking in the press now. A very mature player, very much a role model within that Leicester side. I think he's kind of stepping up to the mantle, and he's also filling that kind of talisman theory that I'm looking for. Obviously, all the play goes through him on set pieces. Had a wonderful performance against Spurs as well in Game Week 8. Obviously, I don't know how he's got on in Game Week 9. Yeah, but hopefully it's good for my own team's sake. But really, really good fixtures coming up. Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, Leeds, Wolves, Manchester City in game week 14, but then Everton and West Ham to finish up before the World Cup. Like I said, on free kicks, on kind of all the play coming through him. Rodgers and that squad now are under absolutely immense pressure. But I think there was lots of positives in that Spurs performance. If they can build on that and start picking up some wins, the confidence is going to come with that. And James Maddison is very much one of those players. When the confidence is right and when the team's working around him, I think he could be absolutely explosive and a must-own asset within FPL. But that is James Maddison. Have you already got him in your team, or are you looking to bring him in for game week 10? Let me know down in the comments below. Let's move on to the final player within today's video. And the final player that we're going to talk about is a man who absolutely dominated FPL Twitter this week. It is Dominic Solanke. Now, the reason I've included Solanke is the fact that he might actually end up coming in my team. I want to get Wilfred Zaha in there. I'm currently priced out, and the only way to do it is drop Mitrovic down to a Dominic Solanke to get him within my team. It's a big risk. Yeah. And I don't think Dominic Solanke is at a Premier League level, but with Bournemouth's amazing fixtures up until the World Cup and at 5.7 million, if he's on penalties as well, he could be honestly an amazing little bargain asset. Very similar to kind of Timo Pukki last season, knows where the back of the net is, on penalties as well, and playing for a team who don't really create too many opportunities, but when them opportunities do come, it does usually fall to this player. I do get that kind of vibe with Dominic Solanke. Bournemouth as well are currently in a little bit of good form as well. Currently 4 unbeaten as well, which I think has kind of gone massively under the radar with these amazing fixtures coming up as well. Leicester, Fulham, Southampton, West Ham, Tottenham, Leeds and Everton. They could go on a little bit of a run here and kind of get themselves in a good position up until the World Cup. Like I said, really good fixtures coming up. 4 unbeaten. Obviously, today they could have easily had a penalty. Dominic Solanke could have took 2 penalties and could have been on everyone's shopping list this week if he'd have put both of them away. With this Mitrovic injury, I do think there is going to be potentially a shift away from free forwards, or there might even be kind of a new forward emerging. We will kind of have to wait and see who that other forward is going to be. I think Ivan Toney is probably the best option if you aren't going to be priced out of other moves. But around that cheaper price point, we have Dominic Solanke, we have Patterson Daka, who I know has currently got a flag on him. I can't remember why, so we'll kind of have to wait and see if he plays. I'm more kind of leaning towards Daka than Solanke if Daka is fully fit. I really like the Leicester fixtures. I really like the way he's been playing as well, and it does look like potentially Vardy is kind of taking a lesser role within that side. But Dominic Solanke could potentially become an option within our sides if we are looking to maybe move some funds around. If we want to get ourselves a Maddison, a Zaha and a Bowen, which I'm looking to do, then I could potentially drop Mitrovic down to a Dominic Solanke. Obviously had an amazing year last year in the Championship, but no one cares about that. I've seen the amount of FPL Twitter beefs there's been over this ban this week. Honestly, everyone's kind of been overhyping him a little, I feel. But at 5.7 million and with good fixtures, I do think there is a potential shout to maybe include him within your side. Let me know, have I gone completely nuts down in the comments below. Also, if you need any help with your team this week, who you should bring in, who you should captain, who you should be looking to sell, then leave it all down in the comments below, as I do answer every single question down there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a very good game week. Please like, comment and subscribe to the FPL Tom YouTube channel.